fat winning streak. Brock Purdy, the story of the season. A ton of touchdown San Francisco's, and soon the Gucci Dada cookie stuffed Greg Papa will be enjoying the holidays with his family. He joins us on a special early edition because we are off tomorrow. We appreciate that. Good morning, Mr. Papa.
The Gucci Dada cookies have not yet arrived from the North Pole.
Ooh.
I am waiting for them to get here. Hopefully they'll get here. The perfect time would be for them to arrive right after the 49ers beat Washington. On Christmas Eve, game should be over about 4:30, and then roll right into the Gucci Dada cookies and watch the Raiders and Steelers and enjoy a nice holiday. How are you guys? Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you. You know, one non-Niners thing you mentioned, Raiders, Steelers, and you're the voice of the Niners, but also you spent quite a bit of time with the Raider organization, to say the least. Obviously, you know, Franco Harris, anyone who met him, and I'm sure you did many times, knows he was just such a kind man. And Greg, beyond the sadness, beyond the NFL world and the world itself losing Franco, the timing, the fact that this was already going to be a thing, 50th anniversary, Pittsburgh, Raiders, all of that. I can't wrap my mind around the emotions surrounding that game Saturday.
Yeah, it's just amazing that he passed away this week. And I did have a chance to spend time with Franco at the Super Bowl 54, when the 49ers were playing Kansas City. And we actually, Phil Villapiano is a good friend of mine. And we arranged, we did an interview on Radio Row with Franco. And we had Phil call in. And Phil had gotten into the liquor cabinet that morning with Conrad Dobler. That was Priceless Radio. And they went back and forth. And actually, Phil's going to be there Saturday night. So, yeah, he really turned that franchise around. They didn't win anything for decades and decades in two pieces. Mean Joe Green on defense, obviously, and Franco Harris on offense. It's his rookie year in 1972, and being a Italian-American, before I even saw what he looked like, who's this Franco Harris guy in the Franco's Italian Army? And I saw a picture of him. I'm like, all right, he's Italian. Sammy Davis Jr. is Jewish. I get it. I expanded my thoughts on things, and it was great. But I was a Raider fan. I remember that game so well. Snake Stabler broke a long run out the left side. He came in off the bench for LaMonica and put the Raiders ahead 13-7. And then that play happened, the immaculate, we call it for years with the Raiders, deception. But he actually, it was a 4th and 10. He was supposed to block on the play, stay in max protection, and he didn't. He just kind of stood there, and the ball ricocheted. I believe he caught it out of the air. In fact, there's a statue of Franco when you land at the Pittsburgh airport. Last time I was there, as fate would have it, as I took a selfie by that statue, Rocky Blyer came up, and we wound up taking a picture together. It was Rocky Blyer and me and the statue of Franco. I think Frenchie Fuqua, the way I see it, is it's not a legal play. It was touched by Jack Tatum, and then Frenchie Fuqua tipped it, and then it went to Franco. And in those days, you couldn't have two consecutive offensive players touch the ball. And
did the ball touch the ground in your mind when Franco picked it?
There's no way to tell, Dave, because there's the angle of it. I remember watching the game on TV and Kurt Gowdy calling it, and it was a 4th and 10. Art Toms almost sacked Terry Bradshaw, and it looked like it was over, and he just flung it down the field, and it ricocheted wild. And I'm like, why is Franco Harris running with the ball that direction? Like, what happened? You had no idea. So I don't know if there's any visual evidence of the ball hitting the ground, or if he took it to the ground or trapped it, but I think it was clear. And, I've had Frenchie Fuqua on shows, and I think it's pretty obvious that Tatum touched it, and then Fuqua tipped it after. He knows that, and he said he's going to take it to his grave. The thing about that date, and we had a bad day the other day with Carlos Correa and what happened here, but that date was December the 23rd, 1972. So the 50th anniversary of that is tomorrow. That was probably the worst day in Bay Area sports history, because the Raiders suffered that loss, which, a lot like the Tuck game, propelled New England's dynasty. That win for Pittsburgh, they didn't win that year. They lost the next game in the AFC Championship game to Miami, but they won 4 Super Bowls before the decade was out, and they beat the Raiders so many times in the championship game. In fact, they wound up playing in consecutive championship games in 74, 75, and 76. They played in the playoffs every year. But also on that day, so that happened, there's the first game of the championship day doubleheader. You know what happened in the second game?
Huh.
The 49ers lost to the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, gosh.
And remember the Preston Riley onside kick deal? That was 49ers won the NFC West 3 straight years, played the Cowboys 3 straight years in the playoffs, lost to them 3 straight years in the playoffs. And by far the worst one was the 1972 loss, when that's where Roger Staubach got his nickname of Captain Comeback. And Roger the Dodger, they were able to score a couple of touchdowns. He scored one late, and then Preston Riley just missed an onside kick, and Dallas recovered, and then he scored another one. So that would go down as probably the worst day, certainly in football Bay Area history, and probably the worst day in sports history in the Bay Area, where the Raiders and the 49ers both lost playoff games that they thought they had won.
You worried at all other than just general worry any given Sunday, or in this case, any given Saturday? You were, you know me, you know I'm a worry wart. I do think the 49ers are obviously better than the Commanders, but I don't think this is going to be an easy game by any of the imagination. That Commander defense worries me a bit. You look ahead to this game, you see any of those potholes I see?
Yeah, their defense is good. I mean, there are 2 guys in the middle. Jonathan Allen, who made the Pro Bowl yesterday, number 93, and Deron Payne next to him, number 94. The 49ers have faced a lot of great interior defensive tackles this year, some of the best in football. But I don't know if they've ever faced 2 on the same team like these guys have. These are high draft picks. Then they got Montez Sweat on the edge, who's a speed guy. McGlinchey's going to have to deal with his length and speed, and then we'll see if Chase Young plays. I don't think he's going to play, and if he does, it'd be limited. So yeah, you're always concerned. But Dave, I have never been more excited about a football team that I've been around on a daily and weekly basis like I am with this team. This team is solid. This team is really good. Their defense is just swarming and suffocatingly good. They're good on all levels. I mean, they built the defensive front. But now you have these 3 linebackers that are playing as well as anybody in football. Charvarius Ward, Mooney Man, the way he is man-matching wide receivers, whether it's, DK Metcalf or DeAndre Hopkins, and he may get Terry McLaurin in this game, Washington's young receiver. He's just a shutdown guy. Jimmy Ward in the slot, Diamado Lenore, safeties, Talanoa making the Pro Bowl. I mean, they are so good on defense. They're so fast and physical. They remind me of the best defenses we've seen. Pittsburgh's defense of the 70s, obviously, and the Bears of the 80s. But really, they're a combination of Tampa and their defense in 2002, which was a speed-based defense with Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks and John Lynch and Rondé Barber. They were so fast that they were probably the best pass defense of all time. And then you got Baltimore's defense in 2000 and how they played the run with Tony Siragusa, Peter Boulware, and obviously Ray Lewis. The 49ers move. They're so fast, but then they tackle ferociously like Baltimore's. Baltimore's defense, they didn't tackle you. They tried to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
They would bury you to the ground. It was like, whoa, these guys are mean. And that's the way the 49ers hit people. So their defense is so good. And then the addition of McCaffrey and what Brock is doing, he just doesn't make bad decisions. I am excited. I think there's a really strong chance. I don't know. We'll see how it all goes, and if they have to win that last game against Arizona. But could they end the season on a 14-game winning streak, including 7 right now, 3 more to close the regular season, and then 4 in January and February? How many teams have done that? 50 years ago, the Dolphins went 14-0 in the regular season, and then won their 3 playoff games. So they obviously won 17 in a row. But how many teams have won 14 in a row to close the year and then won the Super Bowl? So I am so pumped about this team. There's not a weakness on the team. They are strong. They're getting healthy. They're locked and loaded right now. They have a great mentality. They all believe in each other. And let's just see where it all goes. But 2023 could be really exciting for this team.
Feels great, baby. You got me pumped up, man.
I get you pumped up there.
Yes,
that's how I feel, man. This team is like the other team. I don't think, the 49ers do bust here and there and give up touchdowns they shouldn't. but the other, I just wonder how the other team's going to make a first down. If you can give them 4 downs, they're not going to get 10 yards. It's like this defense is. Don't you feel that way watching this defense? How good they are?
Yes, it feels very Raveny, very mid 80s Ninery, and
right. Yeah, the '84 team.
Yeah,
great defense. Yeah.
Listen, you're so great. We always appreciate having you on. We look forward to listening to you on Saturday. Jason and Jay will be here next week. I will talk to you after the new year. So,
okay.
Hey, let's get lots of touchdown Ninerses, and let's also get lots of Coochie Dotty cookies, huh?
I'm going to get them. I'm going to get. Have a great holiday, Dave. I'll talk to you in January, I guess. Then, huh?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Papa. Take care.
Happy New Year, my friend.
Hey,
Take care.
You too. That is the great Grandpapa pumping me up. All right. Since we're off tomorrow, let's take a quick look. We'll give you a preview. Kings Wizards.